Flying taxis.
That's right.
That is our future, as if things go according to plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what we're working on.
And you actually brought a video. So before we just kind of kick things off, maybe we'll just show the video real quick and let people kind of see what you're thinking.
Perfect. Let's do it.
So you're going to start testing these in 2020.
That's right.
And then the
yeah.
plan is to deploy them in 2023. Is that still the timeline that we're working with?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the reason I really love that video, and I guess I should love it because I made it, but is that it really paints the picture of what we're trying to do with Uber Air in the context of Uber as a platform, which is this direction that the entire company is going really clearly. That we've envisioned this future that's not about which vehicle you take or which mode you take, but rather how you want to take a trip. Do you want to get there in the most economical way? Do you want to get there in the fastest way? And being able to link together the modes into truly multimodal journeys that allow you to get there the way you want to get there. And that's the vision that we have. And so on the Elevate side, we're really focusing on this question of urban air, how do we build out this network of urban air vehicles and weave it into the Uber platform that exists right now and make those linkages so that you can have that like real multimodal journey with a single button press. You get everything you need to get from where you start to where you finish, and for a single price.
What kind of trips do you envision people using Uber Air for?
So there's a different taxonomy of different types of trips that people like to take, and so, but we really want to be driven by the data on this. So what we've done is taken a really deep look at movement through cities. What we do is we model at a pretty granular level using both our own data, trip data, that kind of shows where people want to go, where there's pockets of demand effectively, and then supplement that with third-party data as well. Merge it together to get an overall understanding of where movement demand exists. And in those places, then we can put skyports, and that's where we'll go between, is like where basically people want to go the most and are willing to pay for what this type of service will cost in the beginning, which will be a bit of a premium relative to a car service, but we actually think we can drive the price down pretty aggressively over time and then add more nodes basically into the network to have more accessibility overall.
Using the San Francisco Bay Area as an example, assuming that this gets approved by the FAA and that the San Francisco Bay Area is down for this, where would you ideally put these skyports?
Well, I mean, fundamentally, it's driven by the data. And so what we do is we actually really look at these pockets of demand that we can see with a pretty high granularity and actually dive down even to buildings within a demand pocket to understand what are the ideal locations to secure access to for things like retrofitting a skyport onto the roof of a parking garage or things like that in these high demand areas, or looking at greenfield sites that we want to secure access to and able to put this type of infrastructure in, and really let the data tell us. And that's valuable not just because it'll make the network work better, but we can actually then, we're driving partnerships. So we're working with big private equity companies that have capital that they want to put into the infrastructure side of things, and developers, people like the Macquarie and related and companies like that, to actually differentially steer them effectively toward these assets that we think are of particular value in this context. And so we're letting the data tell us where that is.
Okay, but I guess for the types of trips themselves, I guess like could I envision like someone taking it to an airport, or maybe even like commuting if they wanted to get from San Jose to San Francisco, or vice versa.
And that's what the data does tell us. So there's like certain commute routes that are like of high value. We can see exactly kind of where like the best places to start and stop those routes are. We see demand to the airport. We see demand, you know, in the LA region, for example, between like Santa Monica and downtown LA, we see kind of an arc of demand through that region. And then by looking at the actual contours of the demand, you can say, well, how many skyports should I put in to be able to cover that, and then be able to weave it into the ground network effectively, so I can have the minimum number of skyports to serve the maximum number of potential riders, which is then minimizes the infrastructure outlay costs.
So Uber launched Ubercopter in New York just yesterday, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And so that's, let's see, so that's about 200 to 225 per ride. It gets you from like Lower Manhattan to JFK.
That's correct. Yep.
Nice. And so, well, do you think that will be the starting price for Uber Air?
No. So what we're doing is we're launching Copter as a way to start to get at this question of how do you do these real multimodal journeys and learn those things now, because this is actually a pretty hard problem. So if the goal is to have kind of these starting and ending points and be able to in real time capture bookings from people in different parts of the city, batch them effectively because we have enough demand that we think we can batch and drive pretty high load factors into the vehicles, and do this kind of continuously on demand. And so we have to start somewhere, though. It's like it's a hard math problem, it's a hard operations problem, and so we're starting with a pretty high demand route that we understand pretty well, that we can start to learn all the operational constraints around this and give people a really awesome experience. So that's really the goal of what we're doing with Copter. And right now, you know, today you can, if you're in our Diamond or Platinum tier of our rewards program, you're in Lower Manhattan, you can request a Copter, and we take care of everything. So you get the car, it takes you to the heliport, just a single price, end to end. And it's bi-directional, so you can do it from JFK back to Lower Manhattan as well. Which I think is really kind of illustrating that future that video is showing, right? That it's like, it's all about that trip. It's not about the mode. It's really fun to fly in a helicopter from Lower Manhattan to JFK too, but it's a great view. But it's fundamentally about that trip. It's about that linkage that is the first time we've really done this with a true kind of automated linking of the different modes together.
And do you think you'll use a similar model for Uber Air, specifically people in the Diamond or Platinum rewards program?
We'll see. I mean, it's a few years away from. I mean, we have to wait for the vehicles to be certified that we're working with our partners on to both design, certify, and then manufacture. I think that we'll take a measured approach, though, and that's what we're doing with Copter. We're taking a measured approach so that we're making sure we can keep the quality of service really high and give people a really, really good experience. And as we slowly then open up the accessibility of it to a wider audience, basically, we'll be able to keep that bar really high in terms of the service that we're offering.
And so I know that you said that the data will inform a lot of where you decide to kind of put these skyports, but more specifically, what will you be looking for in the data? Will you be looking for like number of people who live in the area, or like cars on the road? So
we're looking at a couple of different things. We're looking at the most fundamental level, movement. And so we have movement data on our network. We see how people want to move by different types of cars. We get third-party data that shows how people move through transit, how they move through any means, basically. Even some of the data picks up like relatively long trips on bike or on foot. And so we just want to understand movement patterns. We take that and we combine it with a probabilistic model we've built around preference. And so by working with people who specialize in doing this, we do a design of experiments and do a series of stated preference surveys, kind of sampling across the different launch markets that we're going to launch in. And then we can build a kind of basically a probabilistic understanding of what people will prefer. So if you're going between this origin and this destination, and transit costs this much, a self-driving car costs this much, and Uber Air costs this much, like what is the probability that you pick those? And so we do this thousands of times, build up this probabilistic model of choice, and then we can take that and effectively use it as a filter against this overall movement data. And then we can adjust the price point based on our kind of assumptions and our cost model that go into, are we in the early launch phase where we assume maintenance costs are this? Are we in a later phase where they're this? And then we can see how the demand changes and the total addressable market grows as we kind of adjust those variables.